with bacteria, for instance, think about the life cycle of a bacterium. You have one bacterium, it grows to twice its size, and then it pinches itself in half. So, which one's the old one, or what? I mean, there's no aging and dying, right? It's not like they have kids and then they get old and die. That's not there. So they just essentially live forever. So, the bacteria that are around today, not any specific species of bacteria or whatever, but just the regular bacteria we have today, you can view them as the first bacteria that are just reproduced to huge numbers and still around, all right? Like whether it's E. coli or whatever, yeah, they're different in many ways because they've evolved for millions and billions of years, but they're just that same thing with the accumulation of mutations that you would expect a single cell to accumulate over billions and billions of years. So they are, surviving large mass of life from those first few cells. So why evolve reproduction at all? Well, it's a simple thing of lots of things didn't evolve for reproduction, and they were one-offs, and eventually at some point, maybe they got killed, or maybe there's still a cell clinging somewhere from the early days of the Earth, clinging to some volcanic vent, but if it doesn't ever evolve for reproduction, it's just a one-off cell, right? So it's only the cells that evolve, that have reproduction that ever get to evolve, and there's going to be more of them. So of course, the world is going to be full of organisms that are able to reproduce, and pretty light on organisms that are unable to reproduce. All right, so that's where we get reproduction from. Originally, it's binary fission, like I mentioned. Binary fission is very simple. These things have a single chromosome, so it's a trivial matter to double your size, pinch the cell in half. Compared to mitosis, it's a very simple thing. Mitosis is always like you have to have a cytoskeleton get rearranged and then push and pull these chromosomes all around and then count to make sure you have the right number of chromosomes. With 46 chromosomes, it gets very complicated. With a single chromosome, it's a lot easier. So then in protists, when we have a nucleus now and all these chromosomes, we get into that. We get into these things going through mitosis and just reproducing themselves like that. But they also develop something called conjugation. Now conjugation is necessary so that these organisms can get the diversity that sexual reproduction brings. Okay, so conjugation is a very early form of sexual reproduction. If sexual reproduction and that diversity is so necessary, why don't bacteria have it? Well, if you remember, bacteria have several mechanisms for increasing their diversity, right? They have transduction, they have conjugation, they have